It's no whiskey. I bought a Poulan PRO. And I've been looking at this saw for years and considering it for years, so it's sort of not totally impulse. I was just about to buy another Husqvarna. The saw I got now is nowadays probably almost a $300 to $400 saw, probably in the high threes. I'll have to price it if it's even available anymore. I thought of buying another saw as close to mine as I could, Husqvarna line, because I'm generally happy with my saw. I need two saws. I need a rescue saw. If the other saw breaks down, I need to have something available. If the other saw gets stuck in a tree, I need some way to cut it out. Possibly even have a second-hand work. So, I do want to have two saws. I had a Poulan Wild Thing, which I was generally very happy with. It's just a homeowner type saw, though. It doesn't have a suspended handle or a chain brake. It's a safety chain instead of a chain brake, so it's less likely to buck. So this is basically the same saw, more or less. It just has a couple more features that I find essential, basically. You know, if you're going to be doing any more than a little bit of chainsawing, anything more than general handyman stuff, serious firewood, you know, serious chainsawing, heavy hours, you've got to have an isolated handle. Otherwise your hands will be numb. That kind of nerve damage can be permanent, kind of accumulatory, so you certainly don't want to be running that type of saw as a pro. If it's going to be something you're using a lot, you have to have a suspended handle. It's a must. So these were there on a closeout. They had like 4 of them there, so I guess they're not going to stock them anymore. It was a decent price, $159. I think I could have beat that by $10 if I really ground. Well, probably not for the Pro. I think it's about $149 for the Wild Thing, actually. This is actually a really good price. Kind of like the Wild Thing in that it comes with a case. Almost the same case as the Wild Thing. It looks like the motor is fatter. So I thought it had the same size motor, but I could be mistaken. Of course, it has a suspended handle and a chain brake. So check that out a little better. Yeah, there you go. She's not lightweight. In fact, she's probably heavier than my Husqvarna. But that's what you get for the difference in price, probably. I'm probably going to stick a 20-inch bar on this and make it take the same chain, if I can, make it take the same chain as my other saw. Then I'll only have one size chain around rather than having 2 different size chains around. I do have one spare 18 chain from the Wild Thing that needs to be sharpened that would probably fit this saw. So I would have a spare, so I'm not in any rush to do that, but ultimately I'd like to do that. It's kind of neat, the accessories that came with it. They gave me a little thing of chain oil, quart, a little thing of premix, and I see it's 50 to 1 on the label there. So hopefully the saw is 50 to 1. That'd be an improvement over the Wild Thing, which was a 40 to 1 ratio. Which is a little bit high than, you know, by today's standards. Some of the old saws were like 14 to 1. It's, they gave some Kevlar gloves and a file even. A sharpening file in the kit here. That's kind of cool. Usually bring that tool and a spare chain. I believe the Wild Thing came with a spare chain as well. That's cool. It's in the original Oregon bag, so you'll be able to get the number off the bag. If I wanted to buy another chain in addition. Pretty cool. Here's the good old Husqvarna. And here's the new Poulan PRO. Never been started before. Fueled up. Both saws are fueled up and oiled up, the same fuel and oil. So we'll see if I can get this guy started for its first start. Carb is dry, so it might take some effort. I already pumped it a little earlier, but I don't think I got fuel going yet. I'm just going to try. I don't want to flood it either. Oops, that was already done. Okay. Probably quieter than the Husqvarna. Husqvarna will always start. Yeah, a little more manly. See how they cut? The new saw should cut better because it's got a sharp brand new blade on it, where the Husqvarna's blade is getting towards needing resharpening. Well, the Poulan PRO is done pretty well. Done quite a bit of cutting here. It's still cutting very quickly. It's cutting faster than the Husqvarna because the Husqvarna's chain is not as sharp. It's not really dull yet though. It's still making chips, not making dust. It's getting there though. It's gonna find a chain for it pretty quick. I got a bunch to sharpen actually. Have to set up my little sharpener, learn how to do that. At any rate, it's a good saw, this Poulan. It didn't idle very well at first until it got thoroughly warmed up. Once it was thoroughly warmed up, it idles okay. You know, the Husqvarna will always start and will always idle. It's got a much better carburetor than most. Doesn't have that push, you know, the little squeeze bottle thing here. But I got it started reasonably quickly. The Poulan probably weighs a smidgen more than the Husqvarna, even though the Husqvarna's got more displacement. I believe I should look that up. One difference I noticed is the teeth are pretty widely spaced. This must be where the ends join. But compared to the chain on the Husqvarna, I was going to put the same chain and bar on this saw as I have on the Husqvarna, but it might be too much load for this saw. I'll probably keep it the way it is. They gave me a spare chain, so I'll have chains for this for a while. And it's just going to be a rescue saw and a backup saw anyway, so I think I made a good choice. It was a impulse buy, but it was so cheap I felt I had to buy it, you know, 159 bucks, 160 bucks. It's just sitting there brand new. It's not a rebuild or anything, it's a brand new. It's a closeout. It's usually about a $200 saw if you go on, you know, look online on Amazon or whatever. So good deal. It's going to stop me from buying a second Husqvarna. That was my original plan, was to buy a second Husqvarna. I have to have a backup saw. I gave away my backup saw to my brother-in-law. Time for me to get something a little better. And that's what this is. It's just a little better than the Wild Thing. It's kind of the same thing, really. Very similar saw. It just has a couple safety things the Wild Thing didn't have. Mainly the suspended handle I can't live without anymore. I used that Wild Thing for, oh, probably 6 to 8 different winters of wood for the winters, getting wood ready, so put a lot of use in that little Wild Thing. It was a great saw, stood up very well, but I can't live without a suspended bar anymore. It's just not going to happen. So for any serious cutting, you have to have a saw with a suspended bar. You know, suspended handle, I should say. You know, and it's a little stiff here. It's not as good as the Husqvarna for shock absorbing. The bar, I don't feel it. On the handle, I feel a little more than I do in the Husky. And it's a little bit quieter than the Husky. I'll give it that too. I suspect with the teeth so widely spaced, even though it's cutting like a champ now, I suspect it'll wear on those few teeth faster than, you know, the multiple teeth. I suspect the chain will dull faster is what I'm getting around to saying. But we'll see. For the money and for its purpose, it's going to be fine for me. It zipped right through the slog. Runs well once it's warmed up. Snow Husky.